Health, the ultimate treasure. Anouk and Agastya were excited as their teacher Sujata ma'am took the class outdoors for a special lesson under the big peepal tree. She smiled and said, "Today we will talk about the most valuable treasure we all have, that is our health." She asked the children to look around. They saw some children playing happily while one boy sitting alone was coughing and looking tired. Sujata ma'am explained, "Health is not just about not being sick. It also means feeling strength in our bodies, happiness in our minds, and active in our daily lives." She spoke about how eating nutritious food, sleeping well, exercising, and keeping our surroundings clean help us stay healthy. She also told them how dirty water or unclean places can spread diseases and how some illnesses can pass from one person to another while others don't. Anouk raised her hand and asked, "Can all diseases be cured with medicine?" Sujata ma'am gently explained how antibiotics help fight some infections, but their misuse can make germs stronger. The children listened carefully, realizing that good habits and a clean environment are powerful shields that protect their health, their greatest treasure. Health beyond sickness. Many people think that being healthy simply means not falling sick. However, health is much more than the absence of disease. The World Health Organization, that is WHO, defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. This definition reminds us that a person who is free from illness may still not be truly healthy if other parts of life are not in balance. Physical health means that our body works properly and we have the strength and energy to carry out everyday tasks, play, or take part in sports without difficulty. Mental health is equally important. It means being able to think clearly, manage stress, control emotions, and handle challenges in a positive way. A student who studies well, stays calm under pressure, and feels confident is showing good mental well-being. Social health refers to the ability to build good relationships, communicate with others, and take part in family, school, or community life in a meaningful way. To understand this better, imagine a student who does not have a cough or fever but feels constantly tired because of eating too much junk food or staying up late at night. Even though this student is not ill, he or she is not truly healthy. Similarly, a person may appear strong and active but may feel anxious or lonely. Such a person, too, lacks complete well-being. True health is possible only when there is balance among all three dimensions: physical, mental, and social. Good food, regular exercise, proper rest, peace of mind, and a clean environment together help us to achieve this state. Health can also be looked at in 6 interconnected dimensions: emotional, physical, mental, social, spiritual, and intellectual. These dimensions are like the spokes of a wheel. When all are balanced, life moves smoothly. For example, spiritual health gives us inner peace, while intellectual health helps us to learn new things and solve problems. Together, these dimensions show that health is a complete and balanced way of living, not just freedom from illness. Activity 1. Group discussion. Form small groups in the class and discuss the question: is a person who does not fall sick but never exercises and eats only junk food truly healthy? Share your views and write a short conclusion based on your discussion. Activity 2. Personal health wheel. Draw a large circle and divide it into 3 parts: physical, mental, and social health. In each section, write down 3 activities that you already do or would like to do to improve that aspect of your health. For example, under physical health, you may write playing football. Under mental health, practicing mindfulness. And under social health, spending time with friends. Ways to stay healthy. Staying healthy requires conscious effort and discipline. Good habits play an important role in maintaining health. A balanced life involves proper eating, regular physical activity, enough sleep, stress management, and staying away from harmful substances like drugs, tobacco, and alcohol. Activity 3. Healthy habits and lifestyle choice. Part 1. Good habits for a healthy life. Think about some healthy habits that your parents, teachers, or elders encourage you to follow. How many of these habits are already part of your daily routine? Which ones would you like to start following? Here's a list to help you get started. Keep yourself clean and practice good hygiene. Eat a healthy and balanced diet. Exercise regularly. Take time to relax or meditate every day. Part 2. Unhealthy habits to avoid. Now think about some habits that are not good for your health. Add them to the list below. Spending too much time on mobile phones or other digital screens. Eating fast food or junk food every day. Sleeping very late or not getting enough sleep. Skipping meals, especially breakfast. Part 3. Reflect on your health choices. Taking care of our body and mind is important. Healthy habits help maintain a healthy body and mind. Discuss your findings with your friends and teacher. Good habits for a healthy life. Number 1. Balanced diet. A diet that includes carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and fiber in the right amount. Number 2. Say no to drugs and alcohol. These substances damage our organs and lead to addiction. Number 3. Limit screen time. Too much use of phones, computers, or television causes eye strain, obesity, and disturbed sleep. Number 4. Exercise and yoga. Daily exercise and yoga strengthen the body and calm the mind. Number 5. Stay physically active. Engage in activities like walking, cycling, or sports to keep your body active and improve cardiovascular health. Number 6. Get enough sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night to allow your body to rest, repair, and refresh for the day ahead. Number 7. Relax and manage stress. Set aside time for activities you enjoy, like reading, listening to music, or spending time with friends or in nature to relax and reduce stress. Activity 4. Personal health chart. Make a personal health chart for 1 week. Record your sleep hours, diet, exercise, and screen time. At the end of the week, check whether you maintained a healthy lifestyle or not. Keep the environment clean. Our environment directly affects our health. Polluted air, dirty water, and unhygienic surroundings make us vulnerable to several diseases. For example, poor air quality measured as Air Quality Index or AQI causes asthma and lung problems, while unclean surroundings promote the spread of communicable diseases like dengue and malaria. Keeping the environment clean is a shared responsibility. Schools, neighborhoods, and homes must maintain cleanliness to ensure healthy living. Activity 5. Clean your classroom or play area. Form small groups with classmates and work together to clean the classroom or playground. Assign each student a specific task such as picking up litter, sweeping, organizing books, or wiping desks. After cleaning, look around and notice the difference a tidy environment makes. Everything looks neater and it feels better to sit and play in a clean space. Discuss with your friends how cleanliness helps prevent diseases. Hence, a clean play area or classroom reduces germs, dust, and allergens. Dirt and waste can be breeding grounds for bacteria and viruses, increasing the risk of illnesses like colds or stomach infections. Keeping everything clean also helps everyone breathe easier, stay healthy, and feel safe and happy in school. Activity 6. AQI Report. Check your city's Air Quality Index, that is AQI, with the help of the internet for a day. AQI tells us how clean or polluted the air is. A lower AQI means cleaner air, while a higher number means more pollution. Write 1 or 2 lines about its effect on health. For example, if the AQI is high, the air has more pollutants which can make breathing difficult, especially for children, elderly people, or those suffering from asthma. Poor air quality can also increase coughing, allergies, or other lung problems. This activity helps everyone to become aware that not only indoor but also outdoor cleanliness and air quality are important for good health. Symptoms that show we are unwell. Our body gives warning signals when something is wrong. Common symptoms include fever, headache, cough, tiredness, vomiting, or rashes. Sometimes illness may also affect mental well-being, such as lack of concentration, sadness, or stress. Paying attention to these symptoms is important for early treatment. Diseases, causes, and types. A disease is a condition that disrupts the normal functioning of the body or mind. It can happen when certain organs or body systems fail to work properly. Some diseases are caused by tiny organisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa, that is, which are single-celled, or worms. These harmful organisms are called pathogens. Other diseases may develop due to poor eating habits, lack of physical activity, or an unhealthy way of living. While some diseases appear suddenly and last for a short time, others can be long-lasting and may need continuous treatment or care. Depending on their cause and how they spread, diseases are divided into two main types: communicable diseases, non-communicable diseases. Communicable diseases. Diseases caused by pathogens that are microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protozoa are called communicable diseases. These diseases can spread from person to person through air, water, direct contact, contaminated food, insects, and other means. Examples include chickenpox, COVID-19, influenza, that is, flu, and dengue. Diseases caused by bacteria. Bacteria have existed on the earth much earlier than human beings. In fact, they are believed to be among the first living organisms to have appeared on the planet. Bacteria are the simplest living unicellular organisms and often live together in colonies of millions. While many bacteria are harmless or even beneficial, harmful bacteria are usually parasitic and can cause a wide range of diseases in both animals and plants. In humans, bacterial diseases include tuberculosis, typhoid, diphtheria, tetanus, whooping cough, cholera, and leprosy. Anthrax, a disease common in animals, and bacterial leaf spot, a disease common in plants, are caused by bacteria. Diseases caused by viruses. Viruses, that is, the word virus means poison, are microscopic and among the most primitive microorganisms known to science. They exhibit characteristics of both living and non-living things. Viruses are so small that they cannot be seen with a light microscope. Instead, a powerful electron microscope, which can magnify up to 2 lakh times, is required to observe them. Viruses cause many diseases in plants, animals, and humans. In humans, viral diseases include polio, chickenpox, measles, common cold, and AIDS. Dengue fever caused by the dengue virus is spread by the bite of the Aedes mosquito. In animals such as cattle, viral infections can lead to foot and mouth disease. In plants, viruses commonly infect cabbage, cauliflower, mustard, cotton, beans, and tomatoes. Tobacco plants are also frequently affected by viral diseases. To protect plants from viral infections, spraying appropriate pesticides can help control the spread of disease-carrying insects. Plowing the soil exposes harmful microorganisms to sunlight, which helps destroy them naturally. Diseases caused by fungi. Fungi are non-green plant-like organisms that lack chlorophyll and are primarily made up of thread-like structures called hyphae. They are found in diverse environments ranging from deserts to cold regions, but thrive best in dark, warm and moist conditions. Fungi vary greatly in size and structure. While some, like yeast, are unicellular, others, such as mushrooms, are multicellular. Fungi are responsible for a variety of diseases in humans, animals, and plants. In humans, fungal infections often affect the skin, causing conditions such as athlete's foot and ringworm. Athlete's foot, for example, leads to itching and discomfort on the feet, while ringworm can cause red, scaly patches on the skin. These types of infections are just a small sample of the wide range of diseases fungi can cause. Diseases caused by protozoa. Protozoa are single-celled microorganisms that can move and vary in shape and size. They are found in a variety of environments, including fresh water, salt water, and soil. Some protozoa are harmful to humans, causing a wide range of diseases. Notable examples include number 1. Entamoeba histolytica. This protozoan lives in the human intestine and causes amoebic dysentery, resulting in severe diarrhea and abdominal discomfort. Number 2. Entamoeba gingivalis. Found in dental tartar, this protozoan can cause pyorrhea, a gum disease that leads to inflammation and infection of the gums. Number 3. Plasmodium. The protozoan responsible for malaria, one of the deadliest diseases in the tropical regions. The life cycle of Plasmodium includes the female Anopheles mosquito and a human host. When the mosquito bites, it injects Plasmodium into the human bloodstream, where it attacks red blood cells, causing fever, chills, and other severe symptoms. These harmful protozoa pose significant health risks, particularly in tropical regions where malaria is prevalent and other protozoan infections are common. Cause and spread of communicable diseases. Communicable diseases are caused by pathogens which can enter the body through various routes. These harmful microorganisms can spread through the air, example, when an infected person coughs or sneezes, through direct contact like shaking hands. Indirect transmission can also occur, such as by sharing personal items of an infected individual. Some diseases are transmitted through the consumption of tainted food or water, while others spread via vectors, organisms that carry and transmit pathogens without being harmed themselves. For example, mosquitoes such as Aedes aegypti are vectors that spread virus diseases. Some communicable diseases, their causes, symptoms, site of infection and preventive measures are given in the following table. Diseases, casual agents, that is pathogens, infection site, mode of transmission, symptoms, preventive measures. Cholera, bacteria, intestine, contaminated food and water, diarrhea and Dehydration. Practice good hygiene, eat properly cooked food, drink boiled water, and get vaccinated. Typhoid. Bacteria. Intestine. Contaminated food and water. Headache, abdominal pain, fever, and diarrhea. Practice good hygiene, eat properly cooked food, drink boiled water, and get vaccinated. Tuberculosis, bacteria, lungs, air, cough, fever, fatigue, loss of appetite, and night sweats. Avoid close contact with TB infected person, cover mouth and nose, maintain hygiene, and get vaccinated. Common cold and influenza. Virus, respiratory tract, air, nasal congestion, sore throat, fever, cough, and body ache. Frequent hand washing, no sharing of personal items, and covering mouth and nose. Measles. Virus, respiratory tract, skin, air, fever, sore throat and red rashes on neck, ears and skin. Isolate the patient, cover mouth and nose, maintain hygiene and get vaccinated. COVID-19. Virus, respiratory tract, air, fever, cough, fatigue, loss of taste or smell, difficulty in breathing, sore throat, muscle aches. Wear masks, practice social distancing, wash hands frequently, avoid crowded places, get vaccinated. Flu. Virus, respiratory tract, air, fever, cough, fatigue, body aches, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose. Frequent hand washing, no sharing of personal items, and covering mouth and nose, get vaccinated. Hepatitis A. Virus, liver, contaminated food and water, fatigue, fever, loss of appetite, nausea, vomiting, jaundice, and upper abdominal pain. Drink boiled water and vaccination. Dengue. Virus, skin, blood, insects, fever, headache, muscle and joint pain, and nausea. Use mosquito nets and repellents, wear long sleeves, control mosquito breeding, and avoid areas with stagnant water. Chicken pox. Virus, respiratory tract, skin, direct or indirect contact. Mild fever, itchy skin, rashes and blisters. Isolate the patient, cover mouth and nose, and vaccination. Poliomyelitis. Polio. Virus, nervous system, contaminated food and water, fever, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, loss of reflexes, paralysis in severe cases. Maintain good hygiene and get vaccinated. Malaria. Protozoa, skin, blood. Insects, high fever, excessive sweating, and periodic chills. Use mosquito nets and repellents, wear long sleeves, control mosquito breeding, and avoid areas with stagnant water. Ringworm. Fungus, skin, direct or indirect contact. Itchy skin, red and scaly patches on the skin, circular or ring-shaped rashes, blisters in some cases. Maintain good hygiene and get vaccinated. Some infectious diseases are caused by parasitic worms that live inside our bodies, particularly in the digestive system. These worms feed on the nutrients of their host, often causing malnutrition and other health issues. As parasites, they depend on another living being for survival. Worm infections typically spread through contaminated food, water, soil, or direct contact with infected people or animals. One such disease is ascaris, caused by worms. These worms primarily infect the intestines and are transmitted through contaminated food and water. Common symptoms include the presence of worms in stool, loss of appetite, poor growth, diarrhea, weight loss, and anemia. To prevent ascariasis, it is important to maintain good personal hygiene, follow proper sanitary practices, consume properly cooked food, and drink boiled water. By taking these precautions, we can effectively reduce the risk of worm infections. Non-communicable diseases, NCDs. Some diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, asthma, and cancer are not caused by germs and do not spread from one person to another. These are called non-communicable diseases, NCDs. They usually develop slowly, can last for a long time, and may even persist throughout life. NCDs are often linked to unhealthy lifestyles, poor diet, lack of exercise, stress, smoking, alcohol use, genetic factors, or environmental conditions. Common examples of NCDs include diabetes, mellitus, hypertension, that is high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, that is heart disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, that is lung disease, and cancer. These diseases require long-term treatment and can severely affect a person's quality of life. They are also referred to as chronic diseases. Sometimes diseases occur not because of germs but due to a lack of essential nutrients in the diet. Such diseases are called deficiency diseases. For example, a lack of vitamin D causes rickets, leading to weak bones. A lack of vitamin C causes scurvy, leading to bleeding gums. A lack of iron causes anemia, resulting in weakness and fatigue. A lack of iodine causes goiter, a swelling in the neck. Let us learn about some of the common non-communicable diseases and their prevention. Obesity. Obesity is a condition in which a person's body has an excessive amount of fat. It occurs when the number of calories consumed is greater than the number of calories used by the body, especially when diets are high in junk food, fried food, and sugary drinks, combined with little physical activity. Obesity increases the risk of several other diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, and joint problems. Common signs of obesity include excess body fat and increased body weight, while symptoms may involve shortness of breath and joint pain. Maintaining a balanced diet and engaging in regular physical activity are the best ways to prevent obesity. Diabetes. Diabetes is a disease in which the body cannot properly control the level of sugar, that is glucose, in the blood. This happens when the body either does not produce enough insulin, that is a hormone that controls blood sugar, or cannot use insulin effectively. Persistently high blood sugar can damage the heart, kidneys, eyes, and nerves. Symptoms of diabetes include high blood sugar levels, presence of sugar in urine, and increased thirst. frequent urination, fatigue, and unexplained weight loss. The number of children with diabetes is steadily increasing, and India is now among the countries with the highest number of people affected by this disease. Earlier, diabetes in children was mainly type 1, caused when the body does not produce insulin. However, due to a combination of unhealthy eating habits, lack of physical activity, obesity, and hormonal imbalances, type 2 diabetes is now becoming more common in children. Early diagnosis and adopting a healthy lifestyle are essential to protect children from diabetes. High blood pressure. High blood pressure, also called hypertension, occurs when the force of blood against the walls of the arteries remain too high. It may not cause noticeable symptoms in the early stages, which is why it is often called a silent killer. If left uncontrolled, it can lead to heart attack, stroke, or kidney failure. Common causes include stress, obesity, excessive salt intake, and lack of physical activity. Symptoms of high blood pressure include consistently high blood pressure readings and changes in blood vessel walls, headaches, dizziness, and blurred vision. Maintaining a healthy diet, reducing stress, exercising regularly, and limiting salt intake can help control blood pressure. Prevention and control of diseases. Prevention is always better than cure. Some important steps to protect ourselves from both communicable and non-communicable diseases include maintaining personal hygiene such as regular bathing and washing hands, keeping our surroundings clean and ensuring access to safe drinking water, receiving vaccinations to prevent communicable diseases, following a healthy diet, practicing yoga, and engaging in regular exercise to avoid lifestyle-related diseases. Avoiding risky habits such as smoking, alcohol consumption, and drug abuse. Ability of the body to fight diseases. The human body has a natural ability to defend itself against harmful germs like bacteria and viruses. This ability is called immunity, and it is provided by the immune system, which identifies, attacks, and removes harmful microorganisms from the body. The immune system protects the body in two main ways: innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate immunity provides immediate general protection against many germs, while acquired immunity develops after the body encounters a specific germ or receives a vaccine. Acquired immunity allows the body to remember germs it has fought before, so it can respond quickly to future infections. This memory is created by antibodies and memory cells. Vaccines help the immune system develop acquired immunity without causing disease. They can be made in several ways, from weakened or dead germs, from inactive or harmless parts of germs, or in some newer vaccines by instructing the body's own cells to produce a harmless part of the germ for the immune system to recognize. For example, a tetanus shot, often given after an injury, protects against infection by tetanus-causing bacteria. It contains an inactivated bacterial toxin that trains the immune system to fight the bacteria without causing the disease. Together, Innate and acquired immunity work to keep the body healthy by recognizing, attacking, and eliminating harmful germs, preventing illnesses, and providing long-term protection. Edward Jenner and the smallpox vaccine. Smallpox was a highly infectious and deadly disease that caused fever, rashes, and painful blisters all over the body. It spread easily from person to person through the air. Many people who got smallpox either died or were left with permanent scars. In the late 1700s, Edward Jenner, an English doctor, noticed that people who had a mild disease called cowpox did not catch smallpox. He used this idea to create the first vaccine which protected people from smallpox. Jenner named this new method vaccination. Edward Jenner's smallpox vaccine experiment. Observation. Edward Jenner noticed that milkmaids who contracted cowpox did not later get smallpox, suggesting that the two diseases might be related and that cowpox provided some protection. Hypothesis. Jenner hypothesized that material from cowpox blisters could protect humans from smallpox infection. Experiment. In 1796, Jenner took pus from cowpox sores on a milkmaid's hand and inoculated it into an 8-year-old boy, James Phipps. After the boy recovered from mild cowpox, Jenner exposed him repeatedly to smallpox, but the boy did not develop the disease. Result. Jenner found that infection with cowpox made James Phipps immune to smallpox and repeated this outcome in other cases, confirming his theory and recording his findings. Application. Jenner's work led to the development of vaccination, eventually helping to eradicate smallpox worldwide through mass immunization programs. Vaccines are powerful tools that keep people healthy throughout life, from early childhood to old age. They protect us from many dangerous diseases, stop infections from spreading, and save millions of lives every year. Vaccines protect our body in advance before any disease can infect us. They help stop serious illnesses from developing, but they cannot treat a person who is already sick. While some people may feel worried or unsure about vaccine, scientists and doctors test them thoroughly to make sure they are safe and effective. By getting vaccinated, you protect not just yourself but also your loved ones and the entire community. Vaccination helps everyone stay healthier and keep serious diseases under control. Treatment of diseases, antibiotics, and resistance. When our body is unable to fight off harmful microbes, we become sick and may need medical treatment. Doctors often prescribe antibiotics, which are medicines that kill bacteria or stop them from multiplying. Antibiotics are helpful only in treating bacterial infections as they act on structures found in bacterial cells that are different from human or other animal cells. However, antibiotics do not work against diseases caused by viruses such as flu, dengue, and COVID-19 or against many protozoan infections. In such cases, doctors provide supportive care and may suggest vaccines for prevention and protection. Although antibiotics have saved countless lives, their overuse and misuse have created a serious problem called antibiotic resistance. When we take antibiotics, the medicine kills the harmful bacteria causing the illness, but it can also destroy the good bacteria that protect our body. The harmful bacteria that survive may develop resistance and multiply, taking over the body. Sometimes these resistant bacteria can even pass their resistance to other bacteria, making infections difficult to treat, may take longer to cure, and can lead to severe complications. Therefore, antibiotics should always be taken only on a doctor's advice and never without a proper prescription. Spreading of antibiotic resistance. Let us understand how the antibiotic resistance spread in a community. In India, traditional medicine systems such as Ayurveda, Siddha, and Unani have been used for centuries to manage common health problems. These practices use natural substances like herbs, oils, and minerals to treat illnesses and support recovery. They also emphasize a healthy lifestyle and a balanced diet. While these systems can be helpful for maintaining general well-being and managing certain conditions, they may not work for all diseases or at every stage of illness. For non-communicable diseases like diabetes, heart disease, or arthritis, treatment focuses on controlling symptoms and improving quality of life. This is achieved through a combination of medication, lifestyle changes, and rehabilitation. Early diagnosis and continuous care are essential to slow disease progression and prevent complications. Signs in the vicinity. Mosquitoes breathing in stagnant water near our homes can spread malaria and dengue. Clean drinking water prevents waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid. Proper waste disposal in neighborhoods keeps away flies and germs that spread illness.